to another episode of Black Girls Talk. I'm Alicia. If you have not tuned in by now, I am the black girl that's talking. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it because I've been doing research, but I didn't feel like this is a conversation that need to be had already. This probably should have been my first episode, but I feel like over time, I feel like the conversation is probably gonna have multiple episodes to it, and it's probably gonna be that main point of what BGT is about. Um, what got me really going about this topic was I was watching the Madam C.J. Walker inspired film that was on Netflix, and it made me sit here and look at like back in time as a black woman, how things used to be, and that it really showcased the issue, the underlining battle. Rather, we are discussing about it now, or we still not talking about it. But even over time, it's always been the light skin versus dark skin battle. Watching that movie and then the hair texture and being Madam C.J. Walker like trying to step the way to pave the way for people for not only just her complexion but just overall women that just wanted to feel confident in how they look. Seeing how people that was my complexion, the light skin, felt superior, felt like, oh, because I'm lighter than you, people want to look like me. And now, living in the century that we're living in now, how the darker melanated people, the melanated black people, let me correct myself, the black folks now, everybody want to praise and glorify the dark skins. It's like, where was this love at throughout all this other past years? Yes, when you see me, when you go to my Instagram page, if you don't know what I look like, yeah, I'm light skinned. And you could tell, oh, you're mixed. It's obvious. I'm mixed. I don't discriminate. I don't disown none of any of my races that's in me. But sis, it's safe to say, they're like, yo, what you look like, you're black. You're just a little lighter. And people like to poke and make fun of me being light skinned. Cool, whatever. But when you start poking and making fun and try to discredit me for being black, or for to you, I'm not black enough, that's when we have an issue. You can be simple minded all you want about it. You can sit here and crack all the jokes in the world you want. But there's some truth to behind the jokes that we make. And for me, it's just like, because I'm lighter, because I'm light skinned, oh, I'm not black enough. Now, when we go back to the Madam C.J. Walker movie, it was just like the light skinned female that they had and portraying, they didn't look like me. They had the curly hair, the hair texture I don't have, which it was just like, well, granted, back in that time, yeah, the slave masters was really getting down, whatever they was doing, you know. Now, I can't say that was the situation in my family history because within my family history, as far as I know, my mom's side, pretty much the history is immigrants, a lot of immigration, and I can't admit my mom, the primary race that she is, she's Jamaican and Italian. But come to find out, there's a little bit more than just Jamaican and Italian, or Irish, or Puerto Rican, or Native American. As far as I know, my great grandfather and my great grandmother are immigrants. Now, my grandmother's side is Italian Irish for sure. There is no breaking that. But even being told stories about my mom and her sisters and how the mother did not want nothing to do with the dark skinned kids or dark skinned kids, but it's just like, what did you expect when you lay with a black man? That you thought your genetics was powerful, was going to outpower the black man's genetics? Even with me seeing my father was medium tone. Maybe you call him light skin if you want to. The dynamics between my aunts and my uncles On my dad's side, I'm talking about 50 Shades of Blackness and a heavenly amazing good hair. To me, good hair is the afros, the Jackson 5 texture, like that, the thickness, the woolness, the fullness. My mama hair, curly, wash and go, no problem. I don't have that. And I feel like your hair is your crown, is your root. And mine's is nappier. It's not nappy, and then that's the thing. You're not, and then everybody wants to say your hair is not nappy. You have good hair, but then you classify me as good hair when somebody else whose hair curl is definitely looser than mine. They come to learn over time. I have the coil hair texture, the coil curl texture, where it's tighter, and still, even if I wet my hair, put it in an afro, I'm still not black enough to certain people. No, you want to break down history, Jamaican and the Puerto Rican, all whatever other races in me. Yeah, to be honest with you, there is no fucking difference between a black Negro and a Latina. Latinos. There's no difference. I promise you, there's really no difference between a black person and a Latino person. Only difference is a fucking boat, right? It's that simple. It's a boat ride. Jamaicans are still black. Puerto Ricans are still black. Mexicans are black. Cubans are black. And to the ones that's Dominican Republican, you're black. Face it, you're next to Haiti. They're black. Boo boo. Your ancestors go back to Africa. You're black. Now this whole thing, everybody came from Africa. Bullshit. Motherfucking bullshit. No, no white person walking around here that got 1% blackness in them. Fuck out of here. I'm not buying that. Unless they literally have a black person in their family, then maybe you're 1%. Other than that, sweetheart, fuck what Ancestry said. Fuck whatever they taught us in middle school, saying that everybody got 1% of Africa in them. Fuck that. Fuck you. Now, the skin complexion issue irritates me. And they're just like, oh, why are you irritated? You're light skinned. You have a higher chance. And the crazy thing about it is that shit is fucking facts. It don't matter what industry you're in. It don't matter. It don't matter which occupation is. The reality is, especially living in America, it don't matter if you're a black woman or a black man. If you are a lighter complexion, you're most likely to succeed before the darker skin. And it's mind blowing to me because over time, with the relationship with my mother, when I went out with my mom, we would go separate ways, and then I'll come back to mom, and I'll be like, "Hey, mom," all the white folks turn around and look like, "What the fuck?" Like, my features is black. Like, ain't nothing white in me, for real, for real. It's a recessive gene. My daddy's genes, 1. I promise you, my future kid is gonna look like me. Besides the point, I get back to my mother, and literally they look at her like that's really her daughter. Like, remember one time we went to Dairy Queens, and the little kid was like doing something with her, and I laughed, and the little kid mean mugged the fuck out of me. Like, he ain't never seen a black person in his life. Look at his parents. The parents gave me a smudge look. That's the first time I ever came across like racism, if that's what you want to call it. Like, for the first time I ever seen in my life was white people just mean mug me like I was not supposed to be in that area. I was in Bedford. Nah, think about it. If you're from Ohio, you know what I'm talking about. I was in Bedford when this shit happened. I actually feared for the first time in my life about my life. I looked and it was just like, yo, like, why are they mean mugging the shit out of me? And I'm like, Mom. She was like, all right, let's go. And we got in the car and she's like, yeah, that's your, yeah, they was racially profiling you. I'm like, was I not white enough to be in this crowd of people? Or, but, you know, and it was mind blowing to me is my mom's mindset. Now, going back to episode 2, explaining me, my background or whatever, went back and forth between Youngstown and Cleveland. When I was in Cleveland, I was raised on the west side. I rep 28th, which I'm pretty sure 28th is totally different now than what it was growing up. And, you know, you're on the west side, it's primarily the Puerto Ricans. Growing up, my whole childhood, it was just like, I was wondering, like, what do I say? Like, who am I? Like, as a kid, I think I was a little too far advanced in my time as a kid. I would have to admit that, but it's just like I would see her filling out paperwork and checking out your race box or whatever. And she said, remember one time she checked out something. She was like, whenever you did have to do this when you get older, you hit other. I'm like, why? She's like, because you're not just black. You're not black. She's like, you're mixed. So you hit other. But I'm just like, okay. This was the early 2000s type of era. I'm pretty sure there's a group of people that was socially woke, aware, already in tune with themselves, and knew what the hell was going on compared to how everybody's acting now. But during the time I was growing up, race wasn't such a major issue as far as I remember. I went to Hope Academy West. I had classmates that was Indian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. One chick never spoke English, and I want to know to this day if she ever learned English. We had an African kid, we had African American, we had whites, ginger head. I mean, I seen every fucking race that was under the moon at Hope Academy. So it's just like, all right, boom. I moved to Shaker Heights, 5th grade year. Oh, that summer of 5th grade year. Nah, I'm lying. I'm sorry. Because I finished out the 4th grade year. So we moved to Shaker that 4th grade going into the 5th grade summer. I'm rack. Whatever. And baby, that go back to that Dairy Queen story. And at that moment, I'm in the suburbs. Where I'm coming from, if you're coming from the west side at that time, I was raised and all stuff like that. It's just like, yo, it's kind of like, this ain't what I was used to. The environment is not what I was used to. It was too pretty. Like, you didn't want to touch everything around you. But this is when I realized, like, there was no more you are mixed type of situation. That was at the moment where I kind of had to pick a side. Is either you gonna be the light skin or you gonna be black. What difference did it make? It was every issue I had, and which is sad. Then I look back at it now. Whenever I ever got in incidents at Shaker, whenever I got into like any fights, the person will always be a little darker. And it was like, what was the reason? Like, what is your reason? Like, why? I mean, now I look at it now, it was so stupid. So all these fights and getting suspended is just like, for what? It was like the dumbest thing. Actually, no, one of my fights, I actually got fighting with a Puerto Rican. And it was just like, what the fuck moment. And just like looking back at it, just like, yo, it's just like certain females I would wish to reach out to and like let's get to the issue. Like, what the fuck is our problem? Like, why don't you don't like me? Like, why don't you don't like me? Like, what did the fuck I do to you? Just breathe. And it just sucks because just like we look stupid. Black women going against each other, we look stupid. I ain't never really seen a light skin versus a light skin or a dark skin versus a dark skin. Unless I'm oblivious, and then until you see it on the internet. But I never acted like I was better than the next woman next to me, whether she was lighter than me, or albino, or she had like the skin disease problems or anything like that, or a woman that was darker than me. And my first taste of realizing what, not being a threat as a black person in a room with people that's darker than me, for the first time I experienced that shit when I was like away visiting with my friends. One of my friends at college one time. And they did something so stupid. And sadly, the evidence was next to my shit. And I wasn't even in the dorm room at the time. But I was about to take the fall. Cause I ride for my friends like that. Like, I didn't give a fuck at this moment. I just wanted them to get the fuck out. I didn't know if it was the campus police or the actual police. And the AR there, I hope she don't work there no more. Cause you're a dumbass bitch. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You doing your little check or whatever, you could have just came knocking on the door, my dumbass. But no, you called the other RA from a different dorm room. Then that RA called the fucking police. Whoever it was the campus police or not, it was the fucking police, and they had the black uniforms on. That's all I know. And back to the point, mind you, my 3 friends are darker than me. So there are threats. There will forever be threats in America. No matter who the fuck the president is, they will forever be a threat. Then there's me. That they ain't even looking at me. The police didn't even look at me in my eyes. They didn't even look at me. They was casing my 3 friends, and that shit was pissing me off. I rolled up my receipt from Walgreens. I knew what the fuck. We only bought one thing from Walgreens because I was cooking. Knew exactly what it was. Olive oil. What was it, $4.89, $5 or whatever on the receipt? It was rolled up. Police officer. I would never forget this. The police officer was smelling so hard. If you know it's smelling so hard, you get what I'm saying. They were smelling so hard for the Mary Jane. And I'm looking like, bro, Y'all can smell, case the whole place out all you want. But the reality is, whether they was smoking or not, whether you smoke, either you smoke cigarettes or you smoke Mary Jane, I'm not about to sit here and censor this shit. But no matter if you smoke weed or whatever, that shit still lingers on to you. So we had each other's back. But I was willing to take the K. I was willing to take the fall because I was ready for the motherfuckers to go. The police officers were not giving me no eye contact, none of that. My facts was I wasn't here and I wasn't there at the time that they was doing that shit, and I didn't even go there. Like I really pulled that she doesn't even go here type move on them. But one thing I wasn't about to do, you're not about to sit here and interrogate them for the longest. There was no proof, there was no evidence. You sat there, y'all tried. Then that's the thing. After the first time I ever seen the police be so sneaky, they tried to pin. They was looking for something so hard just to say, "Hey, oh, you had this here." The receipt was rolled up. They're like, "Oh, well, what was this?" I'm like, "My Walgreens receipt for olive oil for $4 something, maybe $5." He said, unraveled the paperwork, seen it, and then tossed it. At that moment, my stomach is turning. I'm sitting like, yo, I'm about to take this rap. I don't know what's gonna happen with my friendships, but I just know these niggas better ride for me. And before I can even say nothing, the police was like, well, I guess last warning, or everybody's getting ran up. And then they left. I told them, like, yo, I was about to take that fall. They was like, you have too much to lose for you to even be taking that fall. And I will never forget that night. Because just like, really? You got 4 people. You only gonna look at 3. It don't matter even if I said nothing. They're just like, yo, what the fuck? Because I'm less of a threat to you. You want to charge them, want to go after them. What's irritating to me is the fact that we're going against each other. We're constantly going against each other. And when you go against each other, to everybody else, to the white folks, it's just like, oh, we don't need to do nothing. They gonna kill themselves anyway. They're doing our job already. As black women, we are so judgmental. Like, I haven't been times where I've been judgmental of myself. I've been judgmental to the overall community of what we do sometimes. Because it's just stupid. We do dumb things. For me, I say it's tough love. I do it out of tough love. But, yo, we do the dumbest things. And we're going against each other. It's like just because that person is lighter than you, don't make them any more less than what you are. Because at the end of the day, they're still a threat. We're all threats to a whole nother race, you know? And, I really kind of gotta give credit to my mom for changing her mindset, changing her views. Because the older I get, the more she starts understanding that she has a black daughter to raise. But we can go back to this hair texture. Anybody who seen me with my natural hair, like after my curls and my everything is gone, it's like, yeah, now you see the blackness in me. I can literally poke my hair up into an afro, shape it, look nice, look like I was part of the Jackson 5. I remember she always said I had nappy hair. Oh, you got black people with hair. I had perms. My mom did not know how to do my hair until later on in my life. She permed my hair until that shit burnt my shit off. And that's when she had to learn that, like, okay, I need to learn how to do her hair. Because my hair texture is not the same as hers. It's not the same as my brothers on my mom's side. She had 2 boys. Boys, all you gotta do is sit there and get their haircut. A girl, you gotta wash, style, and everything. As I get older, my mom's mindset starts to change. To where now I'm identified as a black woman. I'm identified as a black kid. I'm black. You're still mixed with them other races, but at the end of the day, you're black. I remember my mom got pulled over and I seen them write the ticket down. I looked at the ticket and I'm like, why did they say that you're white? Because my grandfather is Jamaican. So like technically my mom is black still too. But her features, everything, oh my goodness, white. And it's just like, you standing next to her, she's seen as a white woman. Even to her, she's identified as she's a black woman. She's an Israelite. And that goes into the religion thing. Like, we're Israelites. And it's just the fact that you can be discredited for your blackness because you're not melanated enough. Okay, my skin isn't melanated enough for you, but who the fuck knows what's going on the inside? Like, my genetics game may be way blacker than yours, And I think a lot of people fail to realize that, like, just like, you have a whole bunch of other traits and genes inside of you that's like that can pop out when you have a kid with somebody else. Like, someone else's genetics can trigger that, And I'm really happy. I don't have I don't have a crisis of trying to identify who I am. What side do I pick? I never had the side to pick. It was always, oh, you're forced. You're always naturally already forced on the black side. You can crack jokes saying, oh, you can't say nigga and all stuff like that, but it's just like, yo, the reality is, like, some people, like, just because that person is black than you, they don't, just because they're lighter than you don't mean that you're blacker than them just because of your skin complexion. Like somebody said something to me on Snapchat one time, and I spazzed because you're melanated, more melanated than I am. Congratulations, but let's look at your hair texture, my guy. You got that silky smooth hair, my guy. So somebody in your family got touched by the white man for your hair to be more straighter than mine's. Okay? We live in society where one minute the light skins are so called winning and they're the forefront of everything. But then y'all make dark skinned women a trend that y'all now want to love. But y'all still praising the light skins be more superior. Now, I had a conversation with my nephew. And I hope he was joking. I don't, at the rate that the conversation kept going, I don't think he was joking for real. Yeah, I played the game Sims. Everybody knows that. That's like one of my little underlining geek moment fact. I play Sims. My nephew said, "Hey, create me in Sims, but don't give me he said give me a white wife or a Spanish girl." Something underneath that nature. And the more he kept talking, the more he kept going on. In my conclusion, I'm just like, so you don't like black girls? He was like, no, I just don't like all of them. I'm like, so wait, let me correct myself. So you don't like dark skinned girls? You don't like dark skinned black girls? He was like, nah. And I'm just like, what? Like in my head, like I was on the phone, like I sat there silent, but in my head, I'm just like, I'm trying to gather my thoughts to where I don't like spaz on him. Cause like, yo, despite your mom being my complexion or maybe a little darker than me, everybody else in her family is dark skinned too. Like you got dark people in your family. There's a lot of dark skinned women in this family. And for you to sit here and say that you're not attracted to black women, beyond me. Beyond me. I can't even talk shit. Like I remember in high school, like I literally was just like on like light skins. There wasn't no dark skinned guy that stuck out to me. We're like, oh, he's fine. There was one, but that was just what I was attracted to. And for a minute, I was like, yo, that's low key my mom tainting with my brain for a minute. We out of high school now, full blown adult, and we get out there in the world. It's just like, yo, like black men are the best. Whether they light skin or dark skin, at the end of the day, I love them all. I gotta love them, gotta support them, cause ain't nobody gonna support a black man than a black woman herself. And then to come to find out, like a couple years later down the road, it's like, yo, the dark skin man hit a little different. Like it's just something about them that just shines a little brighter than me. All black people shine, but it's just like, yo, like you gotta love, like no matter what the skin is, you gotta love it. You gotta love the skin you in as a black person. And as a black person, don't hate the next person because their skin is not the same complexion as yours. And I think that's the thing that blows me about when it comes to white folks. White folks always talking about how all black people look alike. No, the fuck we do not. No, the hell we don't. While you keep saying that black people look the same, and we look the same, then why the fuck we come in 50 different shades? Why y'all still just one little skin palette? And we're the color folks. But you get in the sun, you turn red. We get in the sun, baby, we shine. We get golden. Our aura shines when we hit the sun. When you get sick, you turn blue, green, purple, whatever. We get sick, we still look. We look. Some of us look fucking good when we're sick. We look better when we're sick than we are healthy. But guess what? We don't change colors. And then when you die, white folks die. They turn gray, purple. We die. We still look the fucking same. We just start decreasing and deceasing into fucking ashes. But we're the color folks. Okay, Rainbow. I'm gonna have to revisit this conversation. Cause this is a really a topic that's never going to end. It's never going to end until we start accepting each other and not sit here and create a skin war. Like, what difference does it make? We're still black, and whether we go against each other or not, guess what? We're the biggest threat to every fucking body else in this world. And I take that as a compliment. You're threatened by me because of my complexion? Why, thank you. Because guess what? It don't get no better than being a black person. It don't get no better than being an African American. It don't get no better than being a melanated ass person. And people hate that. People hate that because they can't be us. They want to be us and they can't do it. And if you try to copy and paste, maybe it don't work. It don't work. Rather, you try to tune it up a little bit, switch it up, throw a little salt and pepper on this, and y'all don't know any other seasoning. It don't get no better than being a black person. Now, as a black female, oh man, as a black female, I'm thankful that I don't have to question myself. I just naturally love myself, and I witness so many black women question themselves and like they feel like they're not good enough. I also like that. I remember one time my friend said, "If I had a body like yours, oh my god, girl, I'll be showing it off." I was just like, "Well, bitch, I want a body like that, bitch, but I'm not about to get surgery for it." And What broke my heart was my niece. My niece is darker than me. And I remember she's like, what, 12 years old, talking about she's ugly. That shit broke my heart. But it's just like, it's not your fault that you feel that way. It's the fact that your parents didn't praise you enough, didn't tell you how beautiful you were. That's the thing that's mind blowing to me, is the fact that my brothers praised me for being this black, amazing sister of theirs and loving and beautiful and all stuff like that. But if you love me for being black, why can't you love another black woman the way you love me? The way you praise my looks and my glory to always just set myself for who I am. I don't ever think I ever seen my brothers date a black woman. Well, my brothers on my mom's side, I seen them date one of them. One of them dated a black girl and she was gone within a few weeks. And now his baby moms are white and I'm just disgusted. Got one brother that's like married to a Filipino, and I never seen none of my brothers like literally date a black woman. I have one brother who married a black woman. She's what, light skin, but I never seen him date anybody darker than me. I always seen women my complexion or lighter around and just like weird, like what the fuck. But y'all give me like so the only black person that's good enough to be in your life is your mom, who's not even enough, like that doesn't even look black. She doesn't even look black. Like I promise you, I look black. Like if you put me with my mom's side of the family, like me and my siblings and my mom, I literally am the blackest person in the room. You got my brother. One of my brothers is Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican mixed with everyone my mom else is mixed with, right? And he's darker than me, but he's Puerto Rican. And like I already said, Puerto Ricans are still black. There's literally, you got the white Mexicans, you got the black Mexicans, you got the white Puerto Ricans, then you got the black Puerto Ricans, which they got the black descents in them. And it's just like, man, frustrated now. I'm just looking like, yo, and I got one brother who, thank God, one of them, at least one of them, love him black. No matter he'll pick a dark skin before he pick a light skin. I'm happy for that. I'm just looking like, yo, like none of my brothers, oh, it's nothing but light skinned women have been around. And I don't know if it was because of my father that set the tone, but my father, I know one of his ex-wives, no, both of his ex-wives were darker than me. I then met some of his girlfriends, the girlfriends were darker than me. Like my dad love him some black women now. And then my mom came around and just like, all right. And then they divorced and just like, yeah, I think the only person that really sat there and dated non-consistently black women, well, not non-black women, I meant like just literally just straight black women that's darker than me, was my father. And like I have not seen none of my brothers date a black woman, and I question that. It's like, what's wrong with black people? It should not matter if you're darker or you're light skinned, you're black. At the end of the day, it's just like love one another. This is a whole conversation I need to get other people on, because I don't know, I've been all over the place, but it's just like, yo, like this is like it's an issue. I will praise every black woman I know. I praise every black woman that is listening, tuning in right now, that yo, you are fucking amazing. You are superior. It don't matter if you're my complexion lighter, Mariah Carey to Ari Lennox or darker. It don't matter your shade. It don't matter your curl pattern or how long your hair is or whatever. Baby, listen. If anybody ain't tell you tonight, this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're tuning in and listen to this, you're fucking amazing. Okay? One black woman to another black woman. Keep winning. Keep shining. Keep going. If they don't love you, if they ain't tell you they love you today or they don't love you, I'm telling you, sister, that I love you. And you got this, and we gonna win. We taking over the world, baby. It's as simple as that. They mad because they can't be us. So, with that being said, until next time, guys, I am a black girl that got something to say, and that's real talk.